Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
Well, welcome to Getting to Know You. Today we're going to be finding out about the last of the Mohicans Outdoor Drama, which takes place right off exit 21. It'll be on the website will be on the screen here. It may tail off, it's so long. But we have with us the producer, he's a member of the board, and one of the actors, Steve O'Connor, and one of the actors, Jonathan Hernandez, who graduated from Shaker High. So welcome, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, when I looked this up on the internet, I was finding out about it, I see the last of the Mohicans Outdoor Drama, Inc. So this, what's this, can you tell me about this organization, and then we'll get into the production?
Yeah, Last of the Mohicans Outdoor Drama, Inc. is a not-for-profit corporation. We received our not-for-profit status in 2009. Basically, the whole concept started about 8 years ago. It was a brainchild of a man by the name of Michael Dufault, who was originally from Worcester, Mass., who took a vacation in Lake George. He had a background in doing outdoor drama. He was a professional actor. For many years, he was with the Daniel Boone production in Kentucky, and thought, wouldn't this be an ideal place to do Last of the Mohicans right here on Lake George? So over the last 8 years, he had first worked on adapting the novel to a script. He approached local business and community leaders in Lake George, developed a board, received funding through the county from the hotel occupancy tax. And 3 years ago, we were able to mount some scenes from the play to attract more investors and more community interest. And last year, we did our first full-blown production at Fort William Henry.
Now, when I was looking at the website and reading about it, I got a sense: is this a piece of theater, or is it historical reenactment? Is it kind of a combination of both, or how would you?
It's what I would call edutainment. It's a combination of education and entertainment. James Fenimore Cooper's novel actually does recount actual historical events, like the fall of Fort William Henry and the massacre of the people who were in the fort. In the chapters of the novel, we have that in our play also. Okay. But it's interwoven with fictional characters such as Hawkeye and Uncas and the Monroe girls, who, tell their story, who add that layer of romance and.
So you're hoping people will come away with not only an evening of entertainment, but it's based on real events. Oh, and you can mention some of the events you're doing actually took place right where you're. Now, yeah. I'll tell people watching. Last year, the production was you actually performed it right in Fort William Henry.
Yes, we did.
And this year, you're at the Wild West Ranch, exit 21 of the Northway. But tell us about this area that. There's actually from the novel.
Yeah, well, in the novel, one of the chapters concerns the actual attack on Fort William Henry by General Montcalm and the fall of Fort William Henry. Montcalm parlayed with the commander of Fort William Henry and agreed to allow the soldiers to lay down their arms and march back towards Albany through Fort Edward. Their Huron allies of the French felt cheated and attacked the column of soldiers and colonists who left the fort and massacred them. Now, last year we were right in Fort William Henry, which of course is where the siege actually historically happened. But this year we're on the grounds of where the massacre happened, because Wild West Ranch is right next to the military road, right near Bloody Pond, where the actual massacre of the colonists and the soldiers occurred. We're one of only two theater companies in the whole country who actually perform our drama on the site of where the historical action actually took place.
Well, now you were telling me beforehand that one of the reasons you moved was last year at Fort William Henry, every show sold out, and you needed a bigger space. So I should tell people watching, you better get your tickets now to.
Yeah, yeah.
So how big is this place going to be, and how many people can?
Well, last year was our first year we did full-blown performances,
Okay.
and we had decided to try 6 nights at Fort William Henry, put out 300 chairs. We didn't know whether we'd fill 3 or 300. As it turned out, we were sold out every night. We had to put out extra chairs. We sold standing room only tickets. People were on the battlements, and oddly enough, Fort William Henry, as big as it is, was too small for us.
Okay.
This year, we're at the Wild West Ranch, which is owned by Ralph Macchio Sr., who's the father of Ralph Macchio
Yeah,
Jr., the Karate Kid. And we have 500 chairs out with, so we have a spillover. We can do accommodate about 100 extra over the 500.
Okay.
And we're on acres of property with trees in the background and mountains and streams, and it's going to be a much bigger production this year than it was last year.
All
Not
right,
only
so-
seating wise, but actually set wise.
All right, so we'll talk to Jonathan now. Jonathan Hernandez, a Shaker High grad, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, why don't you tell us how you got involved in this? You were telling me beforehand you weren't really a theater major or anything, but tell us a little bit about your background. And
Well, I've always had the passion for entertainment,
Yeah.
theater, acting, or something related to the production. I went to school for business and wanted to focus my studies in marketing, but I still had this passion for acting. So I joined different organizations, got involved in short films in school, different competitions. Certain organizations I was able to perform live in front of people, so I still tried to keep that passion with me.
Okay.
And the opportunity to find The Last of the Mohican, I actually saw it on Craigslist.
Okay. I was
one
going to ask you
day-
how you got involved. It was
Yeah, I was out of town and I was just, bored one day, and I just said, let me see what kind of gigs I can look for in Albany, because I was going to be moving back here from New York City. And I found that they were doing auditions for The Last of the Mohicans. Contacted Steve knowing that I wasn't going to make the official audition date and expressed my interest. Steve responded back to me stating that let's meet and let's see if we can get you an audition when you
Okay.
return.
All right.
And the rest is history.
Very good. Now, Steve, why don't we talk a little bit about the production? It's based on the novel, so how did you come up with the script, or who wrote it? And
Well, Michael Dufault, who's the president of our board, is the man who actually adapted the novel for the stage.
Okay.
Oddly enough, Last of the Mohicans, even though it's the novel has resulted in 2 full-blown movies, 2 feature-length movies, and also I think a cartoon series and a mini-series on British television, has never been adapted to the stage.
okay, I didn't.
So he adapted the novel, and his adaptation is true to the novel. I think people will be surprised if they see our play, how different it is from the 2 movies.
From
I think
Daniel Day-Lewis is
Yeah.
a big one.
Yeah.
And then you were telling me earlier, somebody from the Cooper family
Yes,
came
yeah.
last year, and they thought it was very true to the.
Well, we had a woman who was a collateral descendant of James Fenimore Cooper. I think she was descended from one of his brothers. And she had come to see the play, and she said, "This is great. It's even better than the movies. It's true to the novel.
Okay.
We've never seen that done this way before." And she was
Okay.
quite excited to be there.
All right. Well, Jonathan, part of this production, I guess it's partly on stage, partly on the grounds, and unlike a regular play in a theater, I guess we've got cannons going off, muskets, horses. How are you finding this? Because I know you're already rehearsing.
Yeah.
How are you finding this as opposed to something in a theater we go see it in the stage only? And what do you?
Well, that in itself excites me to a degree that I don't think it's, it's very exciting to see that this type of production is going to bring in so much more action than what you would see in an auditorium.
Okay.
Live horses, cannons, perhaps even a burning of a house. It's all
Okay.
that stuff really intrigues me, and it makes my job easier marketing the production to other people, expressing and highlighting the different action scenes that are going to occur.
well.
It makes it easier to tell people this is going to be
Yeah,
a really good
I
production.
know someone who went last year. They said it was very, very good, very interesting, very exciting, actually.
Right.
And how is now? Who are you playing? You're,
Uncas. I'm
Uncas,
playing the role
okay.
of Uncas, one of the Mohicans.
okay. So, Steve, I hear that there's several Colonie people, and as long as we should talk about that a little bit. There's a lot of Colonie people in the play. Would you want to mention that a little bit?
Yes. Well, anyone who's involved in community theater knows you usually drag your family through the community theater mill. And besides Jonathan, we also have his younger brother Dan, who's in the play. He plays one of the Huron warriors. My wife, Diane Peter, who is from Colonie originally, her family farmed on Wolf Road for years and years. She's the costume designer. My son is helping to do sound. David Bunce from Colonie is our fight choreographer. He was formerly with NIST. He's got I think almost 30 years experience of fight choreography, and we're quite excited to have him as part of our production team.
Oh, that sounds like a good. So what are some of the, maybe you could both talk about this. I know you mentioned it a little bit. What are some of these challenges of doing an outdoor drama like this, other than hoping it won't rain? I mean,
That's what I was going to say.
Well, of course, you always take a chance on the weather. We can't control the weather, but this year we've instituted a rain insurance policy for an extra $2 on your ticket. If we do cancel the play because of rain after the intermission, you'll get a full refund. And of course, if we cancel the play before intermission, you'll definitely get a full refund too. One of the challenges, I think, is working with animals. We have to, with our actors last year, we actually had to give some of them riding lessons. Animals don't realize they're on stage. They don't. Some of them take direction well, some don't. So there's always that element of, I don't want to say danger, but you don't know what's going to happen. You may actually have the horse who's supposed to trot in just stop and not move. We have to be ready to get off the horse and walk in then. And of course, bugs. Bugs are also a problem if you're working outside. But it definitely has its advantages when it comes to working with flame. We can actually do real fire effects with torches. We can set things on fire. As I said, we can use big animals, big set pieces. We're not really restricted with our explosions and the decibel of the noise because it's not trapped within an open space. So we can do a lot more and make you. I think with an outdoor production, you really feel like you're in the middle of everything, and literally you are with this. You have Hurons coming from behind you attacking, and British soldiers shooting this way, and
So are the seats kind of? Is the action sort of all around everybody, kind of?
It starts all around everybody. It eventually winds up in front of you, but you'll be watching a scene, and then all of a sudden you'll hear war whoops from Hurons as they run down the aisle, right next to you, and get up on stage. And you'll see horses coming in the distance, and a fire starting perhaps off to your left that'll attract your attention. So
it sounds very exciting. Now, Jonathan, what are you finding about it? Anything you wanted to add to that, or?
Well, I think right now is staging, because I know that we have a lot of different blocks and different levels. Some things are 4 feet taller, some things are just 2 feet tall. So it's all a matter of even though I'm standing behind someone who's taller than me, I'm actually on a 4-foot platform. So I will be, taller than him. So it's just a little bit of aligning and understanding that, it's not just one flat platform.
Now the shows, the production, they're on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and Friday and Saturdays. From July 29th to August 20th?
That's correct. That's correct, yes.
And like I say, last year, every production sold out, so this show will be on before you start, but I should tell people they can get tickets online. And
sure.
The website will be on the screen. You
can contact us either through our website to get tickets, but we also have box office staff currently on duty, and for tickets and information, you can call 518-681-1574.
All right, that'll be on the screen too. Now, I notice your organization. I'm going to talk a little bit about that now that we talked about the production. Part of the reason for this is is it economic development of the Lake George region? Has it been helping the economy up there, I guess you could say?
I was not there at the beginning, but looking back on the history of the organization, this has been very well thought out. And when this concept was first developed by Michael Dufault, he contacted the Institute of Outdoor Drama, who is a not-for-profit group who helps outdoor dramas develop and get off the ground. They did a feasibility study, and what they found was that the Lake George region was prime for a production like this because there's no passive entertainment at night for families.
Okay.
You can miniature golf, you can go to the
Yeah.
water slide world, you can, do a variety of costly things where you have to stand in line for a long time, but there was no place where a family could just go and sit down and relax at the end of a day and be entertained. There's
Okay.
no movie theater in Lake George Village, for
Really?
example.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of people up there in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking around a lot.
I know.
A lot of walking
Arcades.
around and doing arcades. So the feasibility study underscored two things. One is that you have the audience right in your pocket. You have a constant changeover of audience with new tourists coming in every week, every day, really. Plus your local people who would come to see it also, and plus we're reasonably priced and it's passive. As a parent, when my kids were little, this would have been ideal to take my children to and just sit them down at night and just be entertained rather than, as I said, be on a miniature golf course or something like that.
And you're 1 mile from the village, right?
We're 1 mile south of the village, and on Route 9 we're at 5 Mill Road.
Okay.
And as I said, we're right on the actual site where the massacre.
Now, last year when you were doing this, Jonathan, did you see it done last year? Have you?
I did not go to Lake
Okay,
George last
okay.
summer, unfortunately.
Can people last year at the shows? Were there a lot of kids? Are you encouraging?
Yes.
I know it's not. You're saying it's a family event.
Oh, it's a
but
family event. I think there's something for everyone.
It sounds like kids would like it if there's cannons going off. And
Cannons, horses, Native Americans. If you're a romantic, it has that romantic element, especially the romance between Uncas and Cora, General Monroe's daughter. If you're into action, there's battle scenes. If you're into history, it's definitely has
it
a
sounds like it's
historical
got-
and gorgeous costumes. Louisa Craig Sherman is our costume designer, and she is a reenactor, and all of our costumes are historically accurate and even historically constructed. We're in wool,
that must
which as an actor, is a challenge, but you work with it because the real soldiers would have been working in wool out in those temperatures.
Well, you sound like such a good producer and a board member, but I keep forgetting you're actually in it. Now, Steve, who are you playing?
I play the Marquis de Montcalm. I play the
Okay.
French general who besieges the fort and parleys with General Monroe and allows the soldiers to lay down their arms and leave rather than be slaughtered. The tragedy of Montcalm historically was that he was very honorable and he wanted this peaceful settlement to this conflict, but his Huron allies did not, and they were the ones who, behind his back, snuck out of the fort and killed the colonists and the soldiers.
And you were in last year's.
I was in last year's, and I've been around for the stage readings and the selected scenes we did.
So I noticed on the website there's some quotes from reviews and things, and so as someone who's a producer and you were in it, what was the reaction? Last year was the first year you did the whole full-blown. Well, what sort of reaction did you get both from reviews and from people, since you were there every night, obviously?
We got very, very good reviews. As a matter of fact, I believe the Lake George Chronicle said they were quite surprised at a first-time effort from an unknown producer and a novice company, how dramatic it was, how historically accurate, and how entertaining. Basically, the only bad comments we had were, "I wish you had more seats."
Okay, well, that's good.
I wound up standing, but that was pretty much it. We did not have a lot of negative comment at all.
And you reacted to that feedback with the new place.
What, new place and more seats? Yes.
So Jonathan, are you looking forward to this?
Oh, I'm
event?
excited. July 29th, it cannot come any sooner to me. Ironically, it's the day of my birthday, so
Okay, it opens on your birthday.
I have a lot of family members that are going to be out there to support, so
Okay.
it should be a really great time.
Well, we have, so it sounds like it's got everything. You got a little romance, some action, battle scenes, outdoor, explosions. So this is a family-friendly event. It is Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Friday and Saturdays, starting July 29th. The show will be on before and during. You can go to the website. It'll be on the page. It's a very long one. Last of the Mohicans Outdoor Drama.org. And how much are tickets? It looked like it was like $20.
Yes, tickets are $20 for adults and $15 for children 4 through 12. and children under 4 are free.
Okay.
If we do start to sell out again, we will request parents to sit the 4-year-olds and under on their laps.
Well, considering the cost of theater these days, it sounds very reasonable for a night's entertainment. So thanks for coming, Steve,
Jeff.
and
thank you for having us.
Jonathan, Shaker High grad. We will see you. I'm going to try and get up and see it. So that is it. We will see you next time on Getting to Know You.